What's going on, everybody? C4 here today, continuing with the Madden 18, Madden 17 roster reveal. And we'll be taking a look at the Super Bowl champions, New England Patriots today, which features the only 99, I think, in any of my rosters. There may be one other 99, and I'm just saying that. Now I'm trying to, surprise. I think he may be the only 99 that we're going to see in any of my rosters. Because they got rid of the 100 overall rating, 99 is the new special big dog, and I think there's maybe only one guy worthy of that 99 overall this year. But anyways, if you guys haven't tuned into this yet, go watch the Philadelphia Eagles one, because the first 3 minutes or so of that video, I go in depth in explaining how I came to be at this point with these rosters by Cliff Notes. Essentially, the ratings are based off of my opinion, Pro Football Focus, their stats from last year. All rookies from the first 3 rounds will be involved on every single roster. I guess the Patriots, not so much. Rounds 4 to undrafted free agent, I've included notable guys. At 35,000 subscribers, I will be releasing these videos, these videos are coming out anyway. I'll be releasing these rosters to everyone. Right now, you look around, some guys charging like $5 to get his rosters, which are pretty much the same thing. I'm going to give them away for free at 35,000, and we're just over 300 plus away from getting that. So I fully expect by the end of the month or thereabouts, we should be getting these rosters for you guys. As always, if you agree or disagree with any of the ratings, let me know in the comment section below. And if you're not an ass, I probably will take your opinion for it, take your word for it, and adjust some of the ratings. So at no further ado, Tom Brady, we gave him the 99. I mean, was a candidate to win himself a MVP last year. In only 12 starts, he went 11-1, 3,500 passing yards, 28 touchdowns, 2 picks. If he would have played the full 16-game season, I assume he would have probably been, 3,800 yards, 33, 34 touchdowns, and maybe throw a pick in there. So, certainly MVP caliber season from Tom Brady, but more so, what he did in the playoffs, he was a beast, an absolute beast. What he had, he was a bad man in the playoffs. There's no other way to put it. I've come to grips with admitting that he's the best quarterback in the history of football. That's probably why you get the cover, the GOAT edition. Again, I always stress when I say it, though, I don't think he's the most talented quarterback. Well, that goes to Dan Marino every time. But I do believe he's the greatest overall quarterback ever, and he gets the 99. We gave Garoppolo a 74 and Brissett a 72. Jump to the running back spot, no more LeGarrette Blount. Kind of surprised they let him go without putting much of a fight, considering he got almost 1,200 yards and 18 touchdowns for him last year. But they have, again, a gigantic stable of running backs. They have Mike Gillislee, who came over from the Buffalo Bills. I've always said for the last couple of years, looking at the running backs that have come out of Florida, Mike Gillislee is probably my favorite in terms of a guy that I could see transitioning well to the pros. I liked him more than I like Matt Jones. I liked him more than I like Kelvin Taylor, just off the top of my head. I know people say I pronounce his name wrong, but he's a beast. They got Dion Lewis, who he was banged up last season. Did he tear his ACL or something like that? But came on later, and we all remember what he did in 2015. He was debatably as hot as any receiving back in the NFL today. And then you have James White, who again was very consistent throughout last season, but absolutely went off in that Super Bowl performance. What do you have, 12 catches, something crazy like that? A phenomenal stable of running backs. Then you also got Rex Burkhead coming over from the Cincinnati Bengals. He didn't look too bad he played pretty much relief minutes for the Bengals and when there's injuries later on in the season. But I really think out of these guys, man, it's going to be one hell of a war throughout training camp to get these starting snaps. I'd say even more so between Lewis and White. Who's going to be the primary receiving back? I'm going to say, I don't know, man. I think Dion Lewis is more athletic. But maybe Brady has more rapport with James White. It's going to be interesting to see who ends up being the lead back. But it's definitely going to be a running back by committee. Either way you put it, we have Bolden here with a 72 and DJ Foster with a 65. Jumping to the fullbacks, we gave James Devlin an 85 overall. That's one of the highest overalls out of any fullback. Tremendous blocker. We have Rob Gronkowski's brother, Glenn, here, 67. He probably will get cut. But I can see him being that guy they just end up making like a linebacker or something stupid like that. We got, at the wide receiver spot, Julian Edelman. We gave him an 89 overall last season. He had 98 catches for 1,100 yards and 3 touchdowns in only 13 starts. If he would have stayed healthy the whole season, he probably would have definitely got over the 100 reception mark, probably 1,300 yards, 4 or 5 touchdowns. Best slot wide receiver in the NFL. They got Brandon Cooks in what was the worst, most lopsided, oh my God, frustrating trade of the offseason, where the Saints traded Brandon Cooks to the Patriots. Oh, I've gone in depth many, many times about what I think about this trade, and I get, Saints fans, you can't convince me. I get you had to get rid of him. He didn't want to be there. Why the Patriots? Give him to the Titans. Any other team But Brady Cooks was a baller last year, a guy over 1,000 yards. I think he had 7 or 8 receiving touchdowns, so that's an 88. Chris Hogan, we gave him a 79. Last season, Chris Hogan had 38 catches for 680 yards and 4 touchdowns. Malcolm Mitchell had a great rookie season. We gave him a 76 overall. Last season, 32 catches, 400 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Amendola is consistently very overrated by Madden. I gave him a 75. Last year, he only had 23 catches for 243 yards and 4 touchdowns. I think that's fairly appropriate. We have Matthew Slade here with a 68. He's one of the best special teamers in the NFL. Was an first team All-Pro on special teams, but I mean that doesn't really translate well to a wide receiver grade. White here 65, Street 64, and Lucien 63. Jumping to the tight end spot, we gave Gronk a 97 overall. He was one of those guys, you know, much like Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, J.J. Watt, Khalil Mack, Luke Kuechly. That's always a fringe 99 player because he was hurt. We had him at a 98, and then he missed a lot of time last season. So now he's sitting at a 97 heading into this year. But when healthy, Gronk is, for my money, the undisputed top tight end in the NFL. And it isn't really close. Last year in 6 starts, he had 25 catches for 540 yards and 3 touchdowns. He started all 16 games. He would have been, you know, first place in every, I would imagine. Maybe not receptions. Usually it's a team, someone like Jordan Reed or Greg Olsen might have more. But in terms of yards and touchdowns, usually if Gronk can play a full season, which is kind of, you know, he's struggling to stay healthy. He's usually undisputed, head and shoulders the top tight end. So he's sitting here with a 97. They got Dwayne Allen in a trade from the Colts. We have a 78 for him. Lengel, 68. O'Shaughnessy, 66. And long snapper here, 39. Jumping to the offensive line, Nate Solder, we gave him an 86 overall. Last year, Pro Football Focus gave him an 86.5. So we'll give him the 86. They got Antonio Garcia. I think their first pick was in the 3rd round. I actually really like that pick out of Troy, and I wouldn't be surprised to see. I think Nate Solder's an impending free agent. Patriots don't like to pay anyone, so I think Garcia can develop and be that future left tackle for the Patriots. Left guard Joe Tooney, we gave him a 75 overall. Pro Football Focus gave him around a 70 grade, but I think to be a rookie and to play as meaningful minutes as he did, and you know was on that Super Bowl team, I think 75. Maybe it'll be a little bit generous, but I think that's probably a little bit appropriate. Waddle here 68, Jamil Douglas 65. At center, David Andrews, we gave him a 78. Pro Football Focus gave him a 78.4. So I mean that's pretty appropriate, even though that guy's 24. That looks like he's 38. Right guard, we gave Shaq Mason an 83. Pro Football Focus gave him an 82.1. I feel good about this. It's hard to call offensive linemen. I remember Shaq Mason was, I think, what did he go, like 3rd or 4th round? I had him as one of my top interior offensive linemen the year he came out 2 seasons ago, and it's good to see that he's developed into a beast offensive lineman, old number 69 there. Karras with a 66, and at right tackle, Marcus Cannon, we're giving him an 88. Pro Football Focus gave him about a mid-87 grade, so I figure 88 will bump it up. He sent Sebastian Vollmer out of town, and now has that right tackle spot on lock. Fleming 71, and Ferris 61. Jumping to the defensive side of the ball, Coney Ely coming over in a trade from the Carolina Panthers. We're giving him a 76. Obviously, they made that trade hoping he was a Coney Ely that was a part of a Panthers Super Bowl run and not so much the guy that was there last year. Still plenty of upside, and what does Bill Belichick do when he gets the castaways? He turns them into a very minimal just decent starters. Not, you know, may not always a superstar, but a decent starter. I think that's probably what's going to happen with Coney Ely. Grissom here with a 63. Right defensive end, we gave Trey Flowers an 81 overall last season. Trey Flowers led the team with 7 sacks in the regular season. Only had 8 starts, still somewhat of a rotational player, but over 45 tackles and 7 sacks. I think that's plenty of upside for Flowers, who's an 81. And by the way, in the sim, he usually dominates. So you know, maybe if you want to low-key try to get a defensive end that's not maybe a big name, Flowers works out fairly well in the sim. Lawrence Guy coming over from the Baltimore Ravens, 74, and Kligo, 56. Alan Branch, a defensive tackle, we gave him an 80 overall last season. Alan Branch had 15 starts, 3 pass deflections, a sack and a half, and almost 50 total tackles. I mean, a guy that's, 6'6", 350. He's not going to get a lot of sacks, more so against the run. And then Malcolm Brown, we gave him a 79 overall last season. In 13 starts, he had 3 sacks and 50 total tackles. Not bad. And a safety 2 names. So I think that's a 79. Both these guys are very solid, but I mean, they're never going to have the flashy box score stat lines. Vincent Valentine here with a 69. At outside linebacker, we gave Rob Ninkovich a 78 overall last season. Rob Ninkovich in 11 starts, because I think he had a 4-game suspension for PEDs or something like that. He had 2 pass deflections, 2 forced fumbles, 4 sacks, and just shy of 30 tackles. He's getting out there in age, but still a solid veteran, a rotational type player with a 78. We gave Bates a 61. Middle linebacker, Dante Hightower, we gave him an 89 overall. I was real close on the fringe to giving him a 90 because he was outstanding throughout the entire playoffs, but his stats last season weren't really worthy of a 90, so 89 is where he stat. He had 13 starts, 2 pass deflections, a forced fumble, 2.5 sacks, and 65 tackles as well as a safety, but more so, I mean, obviously, he's more talented than what those stats incline. He got paid this offseason. I think 89 is a good starting point for Hightower. Roberts here with the 73, Kyle Van Noy with the hottest wife ever with a 70. Right outside linebacker, Shane McClellan, we gave him a 76 overall. Last season, McClellan, in 4 starts, had 1 sack and 39 tackles, 76. And we have Freeney here with a 73. Both, like I said, I would say overall, outside of Hightower, the linebacking core in the Patriots certainly should be their main focus, I would say, next offseason and next draft. For sure, obviously, when you don't have a whole lot of draft picks this season, it's going to be tough to rebuild and replenish, but I'm sure they'll be fine. They'll manage somehow, some way. At the secondary, we get Malcolm Butler an 88 overall. Last season, Malcolm Butler had 4 picks, 16 pass deflections, a forced fumble, a sack, and 60-some tackles, just over 60 tackles. He did not play very well, in my opinion, throughout the playoffs, but he had a very solid statistical season. Set to be a free agent next season. It's going to be interesting to see how the Patriots play out. I mean, there's a lot of will he, won't he? Is he going to get traded to the Saints? Is the Saints going to pick up his option? All that whole bullshit going on this offseason. But at least have him for 1 more year, and they're going to be stacked. They lost Logan Ryan. Oh, no, but too bad they just got Stephon Gilmore from the Buffalo Bills. I think Gilmore had 5 picks last year. Boatload, I think double-digit pass deflections as well. A lot of people were questioning his work ethic. They thought that maybe he was trying to play a little bit safe because he knew he had an upcoming contract and the Bills season was all done for. So a lot of people, it seems like, from the Bills camp, because I looked into it, because the Eagles, I want them to get Gilmore, because as an Eagle fan, I want to sign every goddamn good player. But it seems like a lot of Bills fans were criticizing him and seeing like he was playing it safe to get to the offseason, which, kind of reflects poorly on your character. But I don't think the Patriots give a shit as long as they win. And I think with Malcolm Butler and Stephon Gilmore, they have debate like right up there with the top cornerback pairings in the NFL. We got Eric Rowe coming from the Philadelphia Eagles, 75 overall, was pretty decent for them, and 8 pass deflections last season and an interception. You saw some, hot and cold periods, saw some streaks, which is kind of what we saw in Philadelphia, and just watch him, this year take a next giant leap and become an absolute shutdown corner and, eventually start if they let Malcolm Butler leave. Coleman here, 72, Cyrus Jones, 71, and Jonathan Jones, 62. The free safety spot, we gave Devin McCourty an 89 overall. Last season, Devin McCourty made the Pro Bowl, only... let's see. Made the Pro Bowl, had 16 starts, had a pass. What do we got here? My stat lines are okay. There we go. 16 starts. He had 1 interception, 7 pass deflections, a forced fumble, and 78 total tackles. Usually he's one of the best cover safeties as a converted corner in the NFL. I think 89 is about fair. He's starting to get there in age, a little bit long in the tooth, but still is very productive. Ebner here, special teamer, 65. King, 64. And a strong safety, we give Patrick Chung a 77 overall. Last season, Patrick Chung, in 16 starts, had 1 interception, 3 pass deflections, a sack, and 70-some, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80-some tackles. Maybe 77 is a little bit low. Maybe I'm still a little bit salty about Patrick Chung's time here in Philadelphia, so I certainly could look at upgrading that. Harmon here with a 76, and Richards with a 68. Special teamers, we got Stowski, one of the more solid kickers in the NFL. I think he made 85% of his field goals, which is, pretty much what you want for a good kicker. So an 84, and punter Ryan Allen with a 73. So there you go, guys. Those are your Madden 18, Madden 17 New England Patriot ratings. As always, if you agree or disagree with any of the ratings, let me know in the comment section below. At 35,000 subscribers, I'll be releasing these rosters to you guys for free. So keep on spreading the love, sharing the word. And until next time, it's C4 saying peace.